So anyway, I'm gonna finish recording. Some hacker, be surprised that I said what I said. So I'm gonna cut this video to two parts. So anyway, the relationship with me and Princess Diana before she became a princess. Back to discussion was I wrote it and typed it on Instagram. I figured what I see with my life and how I was pushed out for adoption. It all started with Patricia Nixon killing my grandmother, Marilyn Monroe, making it look like a suicidal attempt on her part because she slept with Richard Nixon. She was actually John F. Kennedy's daughter. So Marilyn Monroe gave birth to my mother, Arlene Thelma, placed her in a house in Washington, D.C. She stayed there. I have a feeling as if she came the same for John F. Kennedy. And when John F. Kennedy got assassinated, Richard Nixon came in to inform JFK about it, who was my great-grandpa. So, right, lo and behold, Richard Nixon had an affair with my grandmother, Marilyn Monroe. So my mom, Arlene Thelma, was born in secrecy. Right when she was placed in a home in East Street across George Washington University. She was placed up for adoption. I have a feeling as maybe Madonna might still be her because she's Arlene Thelma that got hit off in the road, Texas. So it's 2 minutes and 24 seconds counting. So my mom basically gave birth to me, but had an affair with Ronald Reagan, then slept with Stephen Paul Jobs, and then Mary Hutchinson was the third person, but yet Barack Obama stayed in the house pretending or thinking that she was his mom. When I found out that Patricia Nixon slept with James Brown in order to get back at Richard Nixon for sleeping and having sex with Marilyn Monroe. So, when my mom gave birth to me, Merrick Hutchinson decided to not shoot him, but first of all, he caught Stephen Paul Jobs holding me in his lap, claiming to be my father, but wasn't. He said, Arlene, I don't know what to call my computer company, I just got money, so when I put my hand up in his mouth and said, Daddy, because I thought he was my daddy, he said, Merrick can talk. Can talk. But basically got his name, so all of a sudden I remember that Merrick walks in as I'm on his lap. I'm only like 1 year old. Cut the story short, he was in the room, got Arlene drunk, and Barack walks in saying, Mom, he goes, how is it she your mom? You're not even black or white like her. He goes, well, that's what she's considered to be. Well, Merrick decided to fondle with my mom in front of Barack and, well, forced him to have an orgy party with her, considering that she slept a horse. So on the day that after my birthday happened, he asked my mom if I am his son. She goes, I got pregnant by Ronald Reagan. What would you think about that? So Merrick decides to go. I have a feeling he's the one that shot at Ronald Reagan because he was mad that Ronald slept with him. So he gets pushed up into the car, and after the shooting happened, Ronald Reagan came and held me in his shoulder like I was his baby. I remember relapse memories that they used to go to the Constitution Hall. That's where they could meet behind Nancy. So when he goes to jail, she picks me up, puts me in the car to go to Lake Charles, Louisiana for his court case. Lo and behold, I was sitting on her lap when I said, "Daddy's innocent," thinking maybe he's my daddy, I'm not sure. But the prison guard came up and hit me with a club to shut me up. Knocked 2 teeth out of my mouth. When she got me home, I was bleeding in the mouth. They accused her of child abuse on me, so they took me and my brother. Turns out the one who took the case was Diana. Imagine sitting back and I'm sitting on her lap, Arlene's lap, when she tells Diana that she related to Richard Nixon and she had an affair with Ronald Reagan, and she writes this all down and says, "Do you have any proof of it? I just can't believe it." Well, she tells my mom, "You have to have some sort of money to get us back." So my mom, Marlene, who's related to Richard Nixon and Marilyn Monroe through a political affair, gets in the car, who claims to slept with Ronald Reagan, who got pregnant with me, gets hit off the road by Barack Obama because he found her on the interstate or the highway and pressed the brakes on his truck. She hit the back and hit the tree, and after that, he considered she died from the car wreck. It's 6 minutes, 9 seconds now. Can you keep up with what I'm saying? There's a lot of background. So, I hope you got a feeling. So, when Diana saw the fact that my mom got hit in the wreck and she died, I don't think there was a funeral, there was no body bag. So, but yet they considered her to be dead. So, I remember when I was sitting on my mom's lap and I saw Diana, I said, "You're cute, can I marry you?" I was only like 4. She goes, "Oh, how sweet, Merrick." I said, "Hey, Mom, she's cute. I wish I could marry her." Well, when my mom got hit off the road, it's when Selma, I think she could have been Patricia Nixon because she's playing 2 parts through my whole life. She came up and I swear, I think as if she knew, and I assumed she said to Selma, she said, "I think you look like Patricia Nixon. You somewhat do." She goes, "I'm not Patricia Nixon." Well, all of a sudden, when it came time, she let us stay a month at the Beasleys. That's because my last name was Hutchinson about that time. And I remember, and as I'm looking and flashing back through my head of the memories as I'm living the present life with all these people walking, wondering if anyone has ever heard of this story. I've told it up on Instagram, tried to. But lo and behold, it's what Diana did. After, when we stayed at the Beast's house, Tom gets a Chrysler 5th Avenue Burgundy and drives it to Lafayette so he could see a house we're going to move into. And yet, when we got to the interstate to get back to Lake Charles, Louisiana from Lafayette, it's like he puts the cruise control on, and the car sped up, and I sat in the front seat. I went straight from the front to the front, from the back to the front, and all of a sudden he pulls the e-brake, and all of a sudden I just get thrown through the windshield, and my chest hit the front of the corner. I landed on the windshield as the car comes to a complete stop. One of my legs ended up being a little shorter than the other one because of all of my weight, and yet I straightened my legs when I was only like 3 going to 4. So Diana finds out, she brings me back to the Mansells and says, "I'm not sure if I want to adopt him to y'all because it seems like an unsafe parents." Well, for some reason she keeps on thinking that Selma could be Patricia Nixon also, because she heard Mom said that Patricia Nixon might be trying to kill her from the affair. Turns out that when the situation came down to it, and she gets me away, she gets me back to the Mansells, decides she doesn't want to adopt us to the Beasleys because she feels like someone's lying. But all of a sudden, a couple of days after that incident, I was in the front yard of the Mansells, and somebody placed a wild dog on a chain. I was just 4. I came up thinking, oh wow, a nice dog, and this dog went straight. Well, I remember the Mansells coming out saying, who placed this dog here on a chain? We didn't do this. This is not our dog. And so I got pushed into the hospital and got a rabies vaccination. So I feel as if somebody was trying to kill me as a baby. So I remember Diana came by herself, and she said, I want to bring Ricky to the park. Merrick, as they call her Ricky now, I don't understand this, but so I got to the park with Diana, and she sits there and she says, I know that you can speak, I know you're a very good talker. I said, yeah. How you feel about the dog that bit you? I said, I didn't like it. A little bit. So she's looking around thinking, I feel like I'm getting stalked. I'm feeling like somebody is trying to stalk me. I feel like they're on. Like, this is something that I can't handle after Mom died. And so all of a sudden that night she gets me in the car. And she sits me in the back seat, drives me right to a quiet place. And so as she moves to the back seat, as I'm sitting here, she lets me lay on her. I said, you're cute. She said, you still want to marry me? I said, I want to. So what she does is she positions her and takes her breast out and put my mouth on her nipples. Well, I remember having this feeling as a 4-year-old boy that I felt a stiff erection happening. So she went and pulled her panties down and pushed me right up into it. I know why, because I can tell you this much, is because she had a feeling that she never had the opportunity, because I'm related to 2 presidents, Nixon and Reagan, through a secret affair. So she was thinking that they might try to kill me. So she decided to have sex with me in the bathroom at the age of 4. So when I woke up, she says, I might have to bring you back to the Mansells. Like as if nothing happened. But yes, she brought me back to the Mansells, and when they opened up the back seat, I got out. Miss Mansell said, it smells like somebody had sex in the back seat. I said, I poured it, looked at her like I know we did. Be surprised that my mom, Arlene, treated me like I was going to be the real president of the United States. The king ambassador. So, I have a feeling that Diana got pregnant off of me at the age that I was 4. So she went straight, took the baby, calls her Benet Ramsey. What made me think this is because she left and took her. And I have a feeling that Selma, Patricia Nixon, knew because she had spied on her. One thing that makes me think about that is because when I moved, I went to Louisiana and was in Branch, Louisiana in 1992, 93. Andre and Felicia come with this girl named Brittany Jean Bordelon. That year, I had money to save from 1989 winning $80,000. I have a feeling that Selma told Andre to kidnap Ramsey DeMay, change her name, and hide her because she thought that she was my daughter from Diana. So, when my adoption happened, Diana decided to have my baby and put her with some family and tell them to keep a secret. Then she went straight for Prince Charles because that's the only way she'd keep protected, because she thought that Nancy and Patricia were out to kill her because I'm the baby from the affair. It's 15 minutes, 58 seconds count. I assume that Andres took Ramsey DeMay and yet gave her a new name, Brittany Jean Bordelon, as she's my daughter from that. And then when he brings her to the house, it's what happens. Andre tells her that she has to sit in the kiddie pool with me. When I was only 13, Brittany was sitting in the kiddie pool and did something to me. She sat on top of me and said she wanted to kiss me. I didn't know she was my daughter. I have a feeling that she is from Diana. So eventually I was supposedly got in trouble, but it was to escape somehow money that was in the safe that I won. So what happens when Andre takes her? And it was 1993. Well, Selma's Patricia Nixon,
Worse is what you're currently playing right now.
decides to turn on the television and say, "Do you know this little girl, Ricky? This is actually Brittany Jean Bordelon." Well, they said a girl from Louisiana by the name of Britney Spears. Well, she tells me it's Brittany Jean Bordelon. I said it's Britney Spears. Which one? Until I realized I have the flashback. She was in my house in Branch, Louisiana in 1993, but yet this is about me and Diana. So, when I turned 7, she kicks me out. Patricia Selma does. It's I think she. Turns out that the Texas Rangers picked me up in Houston, Texas. They wanted to press charges against her. So who did they call? Diana, who is now a princess. So she gets in the car. Now, from what I understand, when Diana gave me to Selma and Tom, thinking that Selma was Patricia, and she had what she said she was having. The minute she got the phone call, she gets in the car. But already Selma, Patricia had someone spotted. And so so she would never get to inform me that I am Ronald Reagan's son through an affair. And yet tell me that she had sex. The only reason why she had sex with me before, she thought I was going to be killed, hidden, but murdered. So she had sex with me because she knew that DNA that I had was proof right there that I was. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to prison. I have to find a way to get actual DNA tests from what's called trauma. To me, speaking to the screen is no different. I don't have no teeth. I went through abusive life, suffered a head concussion. But you think I like the fact that Diana is dead and passed away years later? The way I see it, if she only had sex with me, 2 reasons. Because I'm related to full testimony. 2, she knew she had to keep a peace and be alive because she thought that if she could kill me, she could kill me. That's how we were born. And so, my essence is playing. And that's why I'm not looking around. That's why I'm sitting. For years, I was separated and didn't know. I didn't know myself because all of the wisdom teeth in the bathroom kind of puts you my nerves to where I couldn't think properly. Couldn't remember that. So when they removed me, that's when I started waking up and finding myself to be way more than what certain people. At first I assumed it was she and Paul Jobs that got my mom pregnant, but it wasn't. As more as I see it, I could say I want to do a calculation and know it, but my instinct says wrong. Maybe that got my mom pregnant, but got me to be born from him. So a couple of years back, 2008, Ron and his wife passed me by. She said I kind of looked like him. I was on the street panhandling, just like being homeless like I am now. But there's a story within a story. And yet this is not to make people think that Diana's a sick chick for having sex with me at 4. I'm supposed to be the United States ambassador, I believe, to foreign relations of the book of George Washington, the legislation, but I have a story about that too. But it's all due respect. To me, I feel bad because she never got to me. She got in that car, and the minute she gets under the tunnel and they're driving her, or whoever it was, I have a feeling that Selma, as Patricia Nixon, was the one that set up the record, so she would get to me, because she knew it. She set up the fact that Sinead Ramsey, I have a feeling that she is my daughter from Diana. The only reason why they made her do the pageant is because the fact is they wanted to make sure that she would get seen by Diana. And they knew that when Diana actually brought Ramsey the name to the house, they knew that she basically came straight.
No negative.
Excuse me, I don't like to be bothered.
Here.
I don't really care too much.
It's okay. Take them. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not trying to bother you. I know how you feel.
Okay.
Shitty ass day today.
So anyway, with the situation with me and Diana, Princess Diana,
you know,
it is the fact that
a lot of people have fun.
my essence of being
people walk away
and the reason why I need to do this, it's like an investigation.
Do you want some vodka?
Is Britney Jean Spears is ranted with me.
Would you like a couple shots of vodka?
I need a DNA test done with her. And this is very interesting because being born for 4 presidents, 2 secrets. That means Reagan and Richard Nixon. That's what the public doesn't understand.
I'm sorry about your day today.